promotes Black group economics. Did you know of the $1.8 trillion that is spent annually by Black communities in North America? Only 2% of this wealth stays within our community. Our money stays in our community for only 6 hours, compared to our Jewish, white, and Asian counterparts at 30 days. Black Network is here to change that. We really need to support this. See you in the Black Network.
All right. We are live. Hello, EAU fam. Emma Ansah here live, and I have a special guest with me tonight. We have Roger Mooking. Roger Mooking, chef extraordinaire. And, you know, a busy man, and we're going to talk about a very important topic, which is Hurricane Melissa. Hurricane Melissa. What did they say it was, Roger? What did they say it was the second largest hurricane? Or was it the first? Because it was a category 5 and category 5.
I've heard the first, I've heard the second. I just know that when I talk to my people with the boots on the ground there on the west, it is apocalyptic and it is devastating. So first to second, I don't, it's irrelevant and just I'm concerned about the people.
Exactly, the people. And speaking of the people, I wanted to actually take a look at the devastation while we wait for people to come on and really get talking about this shirt off my back campaign. So, let's just take a look at this. This is just beyond.
Continue to come out of Jamaica, revealing the damage from Hurricane Melissa. The storm killed at least 49 people on its path through the Western Caribbean. Hurricane Melissa will go down as one of the strongest hurricanes on record in the Atlantic Basin, with 185-mile-per-hour sustained winds and a low pressure of 892 millibars. The AccuWeather preliminary estimate of damage for Hurricane Melissa is between $48 to $52 billion. A lot of that loss in Jamaica, which is dealing with a humanitarian crisis. Lack of shelter, food, and water are the daily challenges for survivors of the storm.
You see, they mentioned the lack of shelter, food, and water. But Shirt Off My Back is doing even more than that. So, Roger, I'm giving you the floor to tell us about Shirt Off My Back. Tell us what the inspiration was. Tell us also what sets Shirt Off My Back aside from the rest, because we know we have so many people doing barrels. There's so many organizations asking for donations. There's so many, and it's not to say it's not a great thing. The more, the merrier. But just what sets you aside from the rest, and so it doesn't get lost in the minutia of so many different organizations. So yeah, tell us more about it.
Yes, the shirt off the back thing really started with a call with myself and Simone Jennifer Smith from Brothers Who Care and Here to Help. She had called me, and after talking to her mother and learning about her family in the west of Jamaica and how they had lost everything. So I really kind of just jumped and how can I help? Like what? So I went through my closet and okay, so I know that there's going to be needs at various stages of crisis over the next while, right? So I always kind of look at these situations that are apocalyptic like this and go back to the basics. We all learn in school, grade school, food, clothing, shelter, food, clothing, shelter. So how do we help to address those basic needs? Because in the apocalyptic situations like that, a lot of just bad, nefarious things start to coalesce around people's need because of lack of food, clothing, and shelter. So in speaking with Simone, we're like, okay, so let's get some clothes going. Immediately, I had my neighbors roped in, and we filled up the back of a pickup truck. And so I'm like, if we can coalesce that much energy that quickly, what else can we do with the network that's at my and our fingertips? So within 5 minutes between Simone and I, we had a donated warehouse. We had, I have a restaurant at airport, Pearson, called Twist by Roger Mooking. So we coalesced the partners that I work with there in HMS Host, and also Toronto International, Pearson International Airport. They jumped on board. Now I have a retreat facility called Rocklands Market in Gray County. The Gray County team jumped on board and Rocklands jumped on board to be able to provide drop-off locations. So, Emma, within 5 minutes, we coalesced this amazing network and team of community people who are willing to support around this very basic mission. And then as we started to reach out, I speak very regularly with Chef Lumley, who's on the boots on the ground with World Central Kitchen, hand in hand with Jose Andres, driving around the trucks and flying in helicopters, triaging, understand what's happening in the situation. And when I speak to him quite regularly, he's giving me the immediate pulse of what's happening there. And the immediate needs are non-perishable food, feminine hygiene products, bottled water, and then we move into the clothes and all that stuff, right? So as we started to kind of coalesce that stuff, we honed in and focused what our needs are and what we can do inside of our network. And so we have this Jane Street main warehouse that is going to be collecting on the dates you see on the flyer there, November 9th, November 16th, and November 30th. And then this weekend, Sunday, November 16th at Rocklands Market for all of Gray and Bruce County, we'll be collecting donations there as well. And at Toronto Pearson International Airport with my HMS partner locations and several locations throughout the airport for staff of the airport. There's 20,000 staff at the airport. We've provided multiple drop-off locations at the airport for the staff to be able to support that. Then we're going to move all the goods from Rocklands and the airport over to the main warehouse and then get the stuff shipped over to our community partners with the boots on the ground in Jamaica to distribute it to the most needed locations, right? So it really started very humbly with just a conversation with Simone and I, and then I called Donovan because he's born in Jamaica and has a legacy there, and lives there and goes back and forth, so he's intimately connected to it. And when I explained to him what we were doing, he jumped in immediately. He's like, yo, let me do whatever I could do to try and help and pull things together. So he's out there making calls right now for some support partners, and also helping to tell the story and the message and bring this all together in a really impactful way. And it just shows you the power of community. When community mobilizes and really engages and is passionate and compassionate and is moving with love and purity from that sense, like within 5 minutes we pulled together this whole network, right? Like nobody said no at any stage of the thing. They're like, how could I help more? So it's just a really powerful testament to the human condition, when people get together and operate with purity and just good sense and heart, that we can do really amazing things, So this is really what it's about. And what makes us different is that I think that our focus is to have a long-term support and commitment moving gradually throughout this process. If we start with a shipping container and we end up shipping 1-2 barrels at a time every week, then it's 1-2 barrels at a time every week that people getting some clothes on their back or some food or some diapers that just really hard to come by,
Yeah, and and that's the thing. You touched on something that really, really is important, which is unity. It's unity, and the fact that you were able to get this all together within 5 minutes is the most amazing thing, right? And that's what I always say with our community is when we get together and we unify and we set everything aside and keep it about what's important, which is our community, which is the people of Jamaica. We move mountains. So I love that you were able to do all of this by just picking up the phone, making some calls, and within 5 minutes, you have all of this going on. Of course, with Simone, she's amazing.
Amazing.
And Donovan is amazing as well. And all of you have such a massive reach. So I think it's so beautiful that we have been able to do this. Now, I'm out in Niagara and I want to be able to create some sort of chapter here to also help. I went through my closet. I've got a ton of stuff. I've got a ton of sandals and shoes and stuff. But one of the things that's super important, like you said, usually when something like this happens, it's food, it's water, it's clothing. Those are the main things people think about right away. But then it's like, you need to brush your teeth. You need toilet paper.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Kids
these are
need diapers, like
correct diapers for babies. Exactly. And, these basic things that, people don't immediately think about, which is what I love, is that, you're also pushing for those things as well. So I'm reaching out to people I know out here to find out where I can get a centralized location, so everybody can kind of donate there. And then, I'm if got to put it in the back of my SUV and drive down to wherever, I will do
Yeah.
so. I've reached
Yeah.
out to family members who have churches, get church members involved.
Yeah.
Definitely have to keep it going. And one of the other things I love about Shirt Off My Back is it's not just 1 month, or it's not just, a one-off clothing drive. It's something that's going to be extended over a period of time, which I love, because once again, it's not getting washed in the trees, right? We're not, it's just not 1 month or one drive, and then everybody kind of forgets, the news stops covering it, and it gets buried in the algorithms of what the next hot topic is, or hot gossip, or pop culture, or whatever. So I love the fact that it's going to be extended. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, so like, I'm Trinidadian, right? There's this colloquial belief among the Caribbean people that Trinidadians and Jamaicans can't get along. So I'm also trying to squash that, right? So like I said, Donovan is born in Jamaica and is intimately connected to the island. I've been going to Jamaica a lot in the last 5-6 years. I shoot a show there every year called Food Court Social. It's like a cooking competition show. We give out money to champions and all that kind of stuff, right? So I've spent a lot of time in Jamaica over the last 5-6 years, and so I come to really love the island and love the people and love the feel of the place. You've been to Jamaica and people have been to Jamaica, and Jamaica is just, it's a different kind of place. Like, the people are just different. Their disposition, the colloquialisms, the way they tell stories, the inflection, they're like, everything in Jamaica is just so unique, and the global culture has really taken to that, and they understand and appreciate that because it's just so intrinsically human and raw. And so I feel compelled, as somebody who has been contributing to culture in Jamaica through this show and things over the years, to, in a moment like this, you're either a giver or a taker, right? And so I look at it like, I can't take from the culture. We're contributing to the culture. And if this is a symbiotic relationship, when the culture needs help, that symbiotic relationship demands that you step up to help, right? So that's really kind of the impetus and the passion that drives it. But also, it's an ongoing thing. There's going to be rebuilding many parts of this country for months and years. There's a lot of devastated infrastructure, roads that are just gone, neighborhoods cut off. So there's just such a need over a duration of time to keep this going. And we're committed to make sure that even in small ways, we can continue to contribute over the course of time, right?
And it's super important. And it's one of those things, when you look at the wreckage, it's going to take a while to rebuild. It's going to take a while to rebuild. So there again is, a one-off clothing drive won't be enough, or a one-off drive of stuff won't be enough. So again, I love the fact that this is extended over time. How will you be able to sustain the time, and continue to get people to just keep coming and keep donating and what have you? What's the strategy there?
This is really a community effort. Like, look at what you just said, right? You are now saying, I'm inspired by Shirt Off My Back. I'm going to set up a Niagara location, and we're going to call all my friends, and we're going to coalesce around that, and we're going to get the stuff, we're going to move it and get it moving. It's really that simple. All we can do as I guess the founders of this idea, I guess, and the people who've launched this operation, is inspire other people to realize, hey, what's in my network? Who do I know? How many neighbors can I pull to get 3 bars of soap? If, like, 30% of the population of 20% of the population of Canada takes on that certain amount of care and consideration and is inspired by this, do it. Like, go do it, right? So I think the legacy of this campaign is really about empowering the community to support the community, right? Although we have some big splashy brand partners and stuff that are helping and supporting and blah 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 and all that stuff, it really started with a conversation with one person to another person who was just devastated, and how can one person help another person come out of that feeling. And so if we can just inspire that and keep it moving, it's really up to the community and everybody out there to keep it going. I mean, we can only push a boulder so far before, gravity takes hold and there's a tipping point and the boulder goes down the hill. So we're looking for other people to get that boulder to the precipice, and then everybody else push it off the hill.
So you heard it, viewers. Everybody should be inspired at this point. Like you said, Roger, I was inspired. So in order to keep it moving, right, and keep paying it forward, more people need to, if you live in Vaughan, if you're out in Niagara, like me, heck, you don't even have to be in Canada, wherever you are, be inspired to just keep it going, because like I said, it's going to take some time for this island to recover. And, me personally, as somebody that's in media, I know how quickly things can get buried, like I said, and, we move on to the next story. So it's important for me as well to keep using my platform. And I encourage everybody that's in Black media, even if it's a promo video that you just got to keep dropping at the beginning of every segment, whatever, to just, it's a call out to everybody, the entire community. Tap into your resources and say, hey, you got some toothbrushes? Can you head over? Let's go to the dollar store and just get a whole bag full. A little bit goes a long way. I liken it to when the asylum seekers were on the street. And how the community pulled, the churches, opened up their basements, and I know I was there. I was at the churches donating, so it's the same kind of thing. Like we as a community need to always have that kind of mentality as it relates to supporting. And so that's why for me, when I talked to Simone and she told me about this, I was like, oh, say less. I'm calling people. I'm like, where can I get a centralized spot?
Yeah. And we've also, like, part of the shirt off my back campaign is we realize that not everybody can drive, drop off stuff, and they're busy, or so we kind of looked at it as 2 tiers sort of thing. So there's some people who have financial resources and can contribute, and that's all they're able and willing to do. And there's some people who don't have financial resources, but they have like some spare toothbrushes. They got some bars of soap. They got some really good slippers that they just don't wear, right? So it allows those people to contribute as well. But if there are people out there nationally, globally, who want to support this Shirt Off My Back campaign, we have earmarked World Central Kitchen and Food for the Poor Jamaica as core organizations to donate to directly. And we have like UPC codes for both of those. So you just click in, it goes directly to donation page and you can donate. So if you are in Calgary and you find that, I'm like what they're doing with this campaign, I want to support, we've kind of earmarked who we feel are some of the best organizations doing stuff, boots on the ground. And I'm personally speaking to, like I said, Chef Lumley, who's the local liaison with Jose Andres and World Central Kitchen on every other 2-3 days at this point. He's quite busy. So I know what World Central Kitchen is doing firsthand, trusted. I know what Food for the Poor Jamaica is doing because I'm talking to the executive director of their organization and understanding and finding and talking to boots on the ground as well in those to understand exactly what's happening. So we've kind of curated and vetted two charitable partners who, if you are only looking to, not only looking, if you are looking to provide financial assistance, because you can't get to one of our centralized drop-off locations, because right now they're just so fixed on certain locations, we've earmarked those places, and please donate to them. World Central Kitchen and Food for the Poor Jamaica, those who we've kind of earmarked. So we're just trying to keep it available and open and tell the story and use our bandwidth and our network to be able to tell the story so people can support either directly through donations of goods or directly through financial contributions, whatever suits everybody, or both. Myself personally, I've done both to all.
Which and that's exactly what I intend to do. As I tell you, you look around and when things like this happen, it almost makes you feel like, man, the things that I'm stressing about are truly like first world problems, right?
Yeah.
And it just puts things into perspective. And then I look around and I think about everything that I'm blessed to have, and it's like I just have to be involved. So my question is, for me being out in Niagara, and I mean, I know I can put together a whole SUV load. What's the closest place that I can go to? I know there's a location, and I've dropped it in the comment field here for everybody at 1860 Jane Street. So I would assume that's probably, actually, now that I think about it, that's probably the closest place for me to drop off my items.
Yeah, that's the closest place for you, but and then 2 hours north of you there at Rocklands Market, you can drop. I don't know what is maybe closer for you, or if you know people who you can direct in that Gray County and Bruce County area. Halton Hills North, it's kind of closer to that for those people. So if you're looking to direct people as well, you can send them to Rocklands Market as a second location this Sunday, November 16th. In Berkeley, Ontario. Rocklands Market is 580364 Side Road 60 in Berkeley, Ontario, Gray County. So those are our key locations currently. But Emma, if you want to open a key location and try and figure out a way to network, I'm sure with Simone we can figure out a way to make something happen that makes sense for you regionally as well. That's a conversation to have, right?
Oh, yes. And I will be having that conversation because I really think that there's a massive community here that will most definitely want to be involved. And I also see that there's 3 dates here, November 9th, November 16th, and November 30th. What happens after the 30th?
So after the 30th, immediately our needs will be moving all of the goods from the Rocklands location and the airport locations to the main warehouse on Jane Street. And then we're actively looking to move it and ship it to Jamaica as quickly and efficiently as possible, right? So that is our first immediate thing. And all of our efforts right now are on collections and figuring out how to deal with the shipping and distribution. So if there's partners out there that want to help, you got a plane, you got a sea ship, you got containers.
Whatever. Let's go. Yes. Okay. You know where now. The information's there. So
we
after the
we can
30th.
make that happen.
Oh, I'm sorry. After the 30th and everything gets shipped, if people want to continue to donate, is that location at 1860 Jane Street still the place or the main place, or what?
Very likely, I would say. Right now, like I said, our efforts are so focused on collecting and figuring out how to ship all of these goods. Our next phase in the next week or two is starting to think, okay, how do we execute on the next pieces? Are those community pieces like Niagara location, this location, Calgary location, Vancouver location, and then figuring out how to move that? I'm not 100% sure, but we are committed to making sure that really trying to support the community as much as possible with all of this stuff, right? And we will continue to recommend people donating through World Central Kitchen and Food for the Poor Jamaica if it's just easier for everybody, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for this because I will definitely make sure that I stay connected with Simone and you and everybody else so that as things go, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, I'll just make sure everybody is aware of it And
Yeah,
and I will be talking to you all offline to
thank you.
get that Niagara chapter going, because
Yeah,
the region is made up of a bunch of different areas and towns and stuff. So there's plenty that can be done here. So I will
there's
most
plenty.
certainly make it my mission to get a Niagara chapter going. So I just wanted to thank you for giving me 25 minutes of your time to tell
Oh,
us
it's all
more
good.
about this campaign. I think it's wonderful, as I said. I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. I know that I will be speaking with Simone as well, and she'll also be sharing. And hopefully, I'll be able to catch up with Donovan as well. The more press, the better. But
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to keep it going. So
amazing.
I
Thank
just
you so
wanted to
much.
thank you for taking the time to tell us about it. And everybody, the information's there, shirt off my back. And this island needs help. And we
Our leads help.
cannot allow it to get washed in the trees, so to speak. We have to keep helping, supporting. I mean, I'm sure everybody has some lightly loved item, even if it's one, it doesn't matter.
It's really.
We just have to do it. That's the bottom line. We got to do it. We got to do it.
Yeah,
So
it's about
once
community,
again,
right?
information's there, 860 Jane Street. That's the Toronto drop-off, and the dates and times. Well, we passed November 9th, but we got November 16th coming up, November 30th. The times to donate are between 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Is that Monday to Friday, or is it all 7
No,
days?
those are the set dates for those drop-off locations and times you'll see on that flyer. Again, this Sunday, November 16th at Rocklands Market in Berkeley, 580364 Side Road 60 in Gray County. And then for all airport staff, you can drop off at multiple locations throughout the airport, and that information is being disseminated to staff already. So all of those will eventually end up at the Jane Street warehouse, and from there we'll be shipping out. So we're looking to really collect as much as possible. We'll figure out how to get, if there's 20 shipping containers full, we'll figure out how to move 20 shipping containers.
Exactly. And yes, I'm sorry. I was so excited. I was thinking, oh, it's Monday to Friday. No, these are set dates.
Set dates, set dates and
Yes.
times. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Roger. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Emma. Thank
And
you.
again, family, let's go. Let us support. Let us continue to support, and don't just stop. Reach out, tap into all your people, your resources, your coworkers, get on your plane, train, automobile, whatever you have to do to get these donations over to 1860 Jane Street. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah. See this right here? This is how we move. Love only beyond this point. That's how we move.
Oh, I love it. I need one of these hats in my life. Where can I get it?
We'll figure that out. I'll talk to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to everybody that tuned in. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this. For sure, share this. Spread the word. And I shall see you on the next one. Until then,
Next
please
one.
be safe.
Respect. Thank you, Emma, for your support.
You're most welcome. I shall see you, and I know I'll talk to you soon.
Amazing. Have a great evening, okay?
You too. Bye, everyone.
Bye.